Alright, so how's everybody doing, guys? I'm very happy to be back. The YouTube community probably doesn't know this, but I was gone for about 2.5 days. Um, Basically, what happened was on Saturday, before Saturday, I had been, for the past like 2 weeks, maybe 2.5 weeks, feeling like extremely depressed. And for those of you that don't know, many of you probably do because I talk about it a lot. I'm very open about it. I have an anxiety disorder known as panic disorder. I also have a mood disorder, which is like a small case of bipolar disorder. Um, so, yeah, basically, I've never really had a, you know, um, depressive pattern or anything like that. I've never really had depression or been diagnosed with, ongoing depression. Definitely like hopelessness about my medical situation has made me extremely sad in the past. But um, yeah, uh, basically over these last 2.5 weeks, I had been like at rock bottom. It was ridiculous. I was struggling to get up in the morning at all. Just absolutely no feeling whatsoever. There was nothing. Being with my girlfriend Jen, um, success with the stream, being picked up by Steel Series, such like huge advancements for us. I would only be able to focus on the negatives and not at all experience the positives, not at all benefit from them, or be able to really be happy at all. So I started getting pretty down. Um, it's hard to do this full cam. I didn't really want to. Um, but yeah, so for a long time, things were really bad. And, sorry. Hold on one sec. Alright, hold on one sec. We gotta recompose. We gotta recompose. Yeah, take me a second here. But yeah, so eventually it got to a point where, I didn't feel like I can keep going on, I was so absorbed by, all the sadness, everything that had been going wrong with my mental state, because everything was going right in life. I had just moved into my apartment, which I'm so happy about. It's an amazing place. I have an amazing setup here. And, I have, the most amazing girlfriend in the world. I have the most amazing community in the world. You guys have been, with me every step of the way. Have been the most supportive people in the world that I could ever imagine. But, yeah, basically things just got extremely hard. And, as I said, I kind of just started drifting. And, one day, last Saturday, I was kind of I was driving just for everyday stuff to go get the groceries, and I felt myself drifting the car, kind of just subconsciously, I guess, looking for something. Luckily, I pulled myself back together and I straightened up and made sure that I got off the road as soon as possible and got home. But the sheer fact that happened was a big wake up call to me because it's one thing if I'm like in complete despair, and I'm trying to work on that with medication, but it's a completely other thing to endanger other people and really endanger myself to that level. So I knew something needed to be done. So that night I ended up calling 911. And, they took me over to the emergency care unit for mental illness. And the place was really rough. They took, everything from me, my cell phone, all my clothes, everything. You just had to, go in the old gown and everything. But the most, the different part about this from regular hospitalization was that I couldn't have my phone. And that was so crippling to me because, like I'm attached to social media so much, not only, just out of enjoyment, but for a support system. So it was extremely difficult because I couldn't actually get through that, that thing with the support of everyone else. Like there were so many people leaving so many positive messages, and I couldn't even read them, and I couldn't, I had to rely really just on myself. And my girlfriend was able to visit, my family was able to visit, but it's tough because like certain things, like being able to sleep, like I haven't slept without the TV on for like maybe 6 years, and that's for a very important reason, that I can't really be like just alone with my own thoughts. So that was difficult enough as is, but luckily what we were able to figure out at the intake with diagnosis and everything was that the reason that I had gotten so depressed, because as I was saying, I didn't have a history of depression at all. I ended up having this horrible experience because the medication that I was on, I've been on antidepressants for my anxiety. Basically, that's how it works. Antidepressants are the go-to anxiety medications for treating panic disorder, stopping me from having daily panic attacks and, really not being able to live, basically, because with the state that I'm in, with, how developed my panic disorder is, like, it's really not livable without a medication like that. So, that's one thing I want to stress, is how important medication can be to people that need it. So many people still have that stigma that it's a, that it's a bad thing to be on medication, that it makes you weak. I had one guy in my chat the other day, my God, one of the most ignorant people I'd ever seen, say, I had depression, I had anxiety, I just got over it, I just pushed myself through and got over it. Like, yeah, all right, homie. We all have, points of depression in our lives. We all have general anxieties. It's far different to have a disorder surrounding one of those. It's one of the most disgusting things you can tell someone that has that kind of problem. So, just to throw that out there for sure. But the medication that I was on, so the antidepressants were they were conflicting with the Lamictal, the mood stabilizer that I was on. That mood stabilizer has done so much for me with my mood disorder. It has done so much, and I recognized that something was wrong, but I couldn't pinpoint what it was. And it turns out that these I don't know if it's just in my case or in general, but the antidepressants should not be combined with those mood stabilizers. And a common side effect of mixing that kind of medication, which my psychiatrist prescribed to me and kept prescribing to me different types of the same kinds of medications. Given that I was having this trouble, just kept trying different ones without actually recognizing what was wrong there. And damn, basically she said that a very, very common side effect is extreme depression, and even thoughts of suicide, suicidal tendencies, things like that. Didn't help that one of the newest things I was on for my anxiety, because it's hard to find something that's good for my anxiety. I still haven't, this new one, ironically, at the doctor, or not at the doctor, but at the hospital in the waiting room, I just saw a commercial for it, this new medication, and it specifically says, risk of suicide. And, I just face palmed at that. I'm like, well, that's rough, because I do research on every single medication that I take, but for how desperate I was to get better, I started going on so many different ones, trying out so many different ones in this process, and I kind of let it slip. I just started going with the flow and seeing what the doctor gave me, and he kind of fucked up. So turns out that like I said, I've never had a history of that kind of stuff before, so it really shook me. And the doctor was able to diagnose immediately that was the problem, because as soon as I stopped the antidepressants, I didn't have that problem anymore, and I was only crippled by the anxiety, really. So the good news is that now, without those antidepressants affecting me, I am not undergoing that kind of depression. You know, I'm having a hard time as always, and I'm having, you know, the panic and the anxiety, but it's never, ever, ever will I allow myself to reach that kind of rock bottom point anymore. You know, that's just not something that that I'm okay with by any means. So basically, you know, I wanted to make this not only for my own benefit. You know, being able to talk about this with you guys is, you know, it's truly relieving. It's amazing to have you guys, your support and your love. And I also felt that I was, you know, I owed you guys an explanation for, you know, what had been going on. A lot of times on my stream lately, I'd been ending early. I've been getting frustrated and just, you know, just overall unable to find any enjoyment in what I was doing. And but also because I know so many of you guys go through very similar experiences. I get messages all the time from people that are, you know, suffering from the same types of things. And I figured this, you know, this kind of experience and the ability to kind of, you know, wake yourself up, which was not at all my own doing. It's partly my own doing, because, you know, I've been through a lot and I've been able to recognize what's wrong for the most part. But this time, you know, my girlfriend was the one that urged me to call 911 and to get that care that I needed. And, you know, you guys always looking out for me. A lot of people have pointed out that I obviously wasn't doing so well and I wasn't myself. So I, you know, I tried to really just pull it together and recognize what needed to be done. And luckily I was able to, you know, before anything happened, right from that point. So, you know, just for a message to you guys, always be your own doctor. Not in the sense that you're going to prescribe your own medicines, that you're going to go out looking for things and assume that certain things will help you based on your findings on research, right? But in the way that you do your own independent research. You recognize your symptoms, you write them down, keep them recorded very neatly, and make sure that you're reporting everything to your doctors. And if you feel that they're not giving proper attention to certain areas, like I honestly diagnosed my own mood disorder. For years, doctors had, you know, no inclination at all to it, until I recognized my dad, who had never been diagnosed with it, was very clearly bipolar. And I said, you know what? Maybe a lot of these random ass mood swings I'm having are a sign of something, you know, very, very real there. So I kind of, you know, I brought it up to them, and they, you know, multiple doctors that I had seen since then 100% agreed, and that's how I got on the right medication for that. So just, you know, for reference, always look into your problems as best you can. Don't give up hope on it. You know, always keep your head held high and keep researching and making sure that you're doing everything in your power to ensure that you're getting better. You know, you can't allow yourself to get to that point ever. So yeah, just do it safely and make sure that you're, you know, doing it alongside a professional. And yeah, it feels awful to let, you know, I know I didn't really let you guys down, but I know a lot of you guys look up to me for this kind of stuff. So many people have told me that, you know. I don't want to, you know, seem like I have an ego about that, because I certainly don't. It's just that so many people send me messages often about, you know, how much I've helped them with this, and I don't want, you know, I don't want that to be a shortcoming or something that, you know, makes you guys think that, you know, that you're not strong enough to do it. You know, in the end, I was able to do the right thing, and it's through the support of others. So if you're a part of my community, reach out to people in the community, reach out to me. Make sure that you're always doing what's best for you, you know? And just take care of yourselves, you know, be safe. I love you guys so much, and I thank you guys so much for watching. Here's to, you know, a path to recovery and a path to, you know, a better future, because it's been rough. It's been years and years of suffering every single day. But I think with this revelation and this kind of new path on the medication, things are going to be better. Things are definitely going to be better. As long as I recognize this kind of stuff and keep up with what's working and what's not, as all of you guys should do as well if you're in similar situations, things will get better. And I'm just going to keep trying, you know? So thank you guys so much, all right, for everything. I love you. And I'll be seeing a lot more of you. I'm going to be putting out just as much content as ever, as long as I can do it, you know? I'm going to try not to overwork myself at this time. At least for the next few days, it might be a little rough, but I'm going to keep working on it, you know? This is my dream. This is my grind. I love it so much. And that's mostly because of the community, you know? It's always what it's been about for me. So I want to keep it going strong, and I want to keep growing more than anything. Thank you guys for everything, all right? I love you, and I'll see you soon.